in the Cold War of TV's atom compromise is the name of the game. It's the money or the gun that drives you on, the money or the gun. Bank cards, your plastic explosive, your checkbooks are Colt 45. You overspend, and it's the end. You can't afford to stay alive. It's the money or the gun that drives you on. Choose now, the money or the
Oh, hi. Have you ever wondered about how the world's going to end, or when? According to the Bible, the onset of Armageddon, the final battle between good and evil preceding the Day of Judgment, will be heralded by the arrival of the Antichrist, aka the man of sin. How will we know when he's here? Well, obviously he's not going to go straight onto the Ray Martin show and announce himself by corrupting the mind of some poor pensioner from the audience. In fact, no one's exactly sure what he will do. But according to St. John's Book of Revelations, there will be one telltale clue. The Antichrist, initially a powerful and popular man, will be identifiable by the fact he has the number of the beast, or 666, somewhere on his head. Why 666? Nobody knows. But throughout history, many people have been thought to be the beast, including Muhammad, Napoleon Bonaparte, even Nobel Peace Prize winner Mikhail Gorbachev, who has that birthmark on his forehead said to conceal the 3 evil sixes. Some people even think Ronald Wilson Reagan might be the Antichrist. After all, each of his names does have 6 letters. But let's face it, if the guy couldn't organize even a little apocalypse while he was in the White House, what chance does he have with the big one? Nope, the man of sin hasn't made his move just yet. But the reason I bring it up is that lately there seems to have been, a lot of doomsday talk of the Antichrist and bookstores telling out the prophecies of Nostradamus and so on, which can be really frightening if that sort of thing bothers you. Frankly, I couldn't care if the world ended tonight. After all, we couldn't have asked for a better time for it, could we? The oceans are rising, our young are being taken by bizarre and incurable diseases, Graham Kennedy's rating 30, our waterways are seething with toxic chemicals, and there's a hole in the air big enough to drive a meteorite through. I mean, what have we got to lose? Let's face it, it'd be a real bummer if the world were to end when things are going right? Still, that's just the opinion of one man. I mean, who can say when the world will end? Maybe the world already has ended and we're all currently in hell. Or perhaps the world has ended and we're all currently in heaven, only it's not quite the place we thought it would be. What do you think?
I am an anarchist. I am the Antichrist.
Hi, nice to meet you. Can I chat to you over here just now? Hello, Andrew Denton, ABC Television. What does the apocalypse mean to you?
Well, it depends what you want to interpret it as, but to me, it's what we're headed for right now.
Do you have any idea when the world's going to end?
Probably when I die.
I see. Do I tend to believe this means you don't think you're going on to a heaven or a hell?
No, I don't believe in an afterlife.
Oh.
No. What's the point? I mean, what's the point of
What
having
is the
an
point,
afterlife?
indeed?
I don't see any.
Well, if there's not an afterlife, what's the point of having a life?
Oh, because you can do lots of things in life. I mean, you're given life so you can do whatever you want with it. But why worry about what happens afterwards?
This is great. I think we've just discovered the meaning of life. It was that easy.
I don't know. I have a feeling that there's something else there, that when you die, you go on to like another stage, whether you come back as an animal or whatever it is, I don't know. But I think you just go on to another stage of life, maybe, and depending on what you've achieved while you're here on this section of it.
What does the apocalypse mean to you? These tracks, it must mean
God in heaven, I don't know.
You don't know what the
I
apocalypse
don't know
means?
the meaning of the word.
What about the Antichrist?
I could only guess at that. I think that anti being against, I suppose. I don't know.
The mark of the beast?
No.
The number of the beast?
No.
666?
No.
What a charmingly innocent life you lead. It's wonderful. You
must.
The Antichrist, of
What
course.
does apocalypse mean?
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. We'll keep talking. Apocalypse is essentially the end of the world. It's what is supposed to happen is the Antichrist appears on Earth,
Oh, I see.
marked by the number of the beast, 666, somewhere on his head.
Yeah.
He will, several years later, he'll be a prelude to a huge battle which will eventually end up in the final battle between good and evil, at which point, where the Antichrist will be slain in front of a church, I think, somewhere in the Middle East, could be Antioch, and then the Lord comes down, or the angels of the Lord come down, carrying all sorts of weird paraphernalia, lots of hardware, and they judge us all, and the good ones are taken up, and the bad ones are thrown down.
No, I haven't got a hope.
Very, very quiet. I'm hunting heathens. Christian soldiers marching as to war. G'day, how are you?
Hi, Andrew.
Oh, hey, this guy. That's very exciting.
Yes, what would you like to ask me?
I would like to ask you to keep walking this way.
Okay, why not? Let's go.
Yes, okay. Now, tell me, what does Revelation mean to you?
What does the book of Revelation mean to me?
Have you read it?
Yes, but not lately.
Yeah, and what's your memory of it?
Okay, well, it talks about a lot of far-out creatures, like we're talking, I can't quote exactly, sorry, but we're talking dudes with 6 horns on their heads, and 6 heads on their heads even,
Yeah.
things like that, right? And
Yeah.
so it's pretty far out, and so beyond my comprehension.
But supposing I were to tell you that I had information that, in fact, the world will be ending, at about 10:15 tonight. Let's not be too specific.
What, did you have an interview with God, or?
No, I would never claim to have an interview with God.
Right.
His secretary said I couldn't see him till Monday. Anyway, what would you do with the rest of your life?
If I had till 10:15 tonight,
Yeah.
I'd be hard at praying.
Praying for what? Or praying to what?
Praying God, praying for repentance, make sure everything's right between me and God, and be ready to meet him at 10:16 after we finish here at 10:15.
People in uniform, my favourites. Come with me. Shit.
Live animals from Denton?
Yeah, just over there. Thank you very much. Everywhere you look, there are potential indicators of a world on the brink of total collapse. For example, this Caltech sign is a pentagram, also the sign of the Antichrist. Is it just coincidence that Caltech sells petrol and petrol comes from the Middle East, reputed to be the site of Armageddon? Some point to Kylie Minogue as being the possible Antichrist. According to the scriptures, the Antichrist will be initially well regarded by people of all nations, including the Jews. Kylie Minogue. The Antichrist will be human and very powerful. Kylie again. And the Antichrist will be able to work counterfeit miracles. A perfect description, some would say, of Kylie's transformation from soapy actress to pop star. And could her hit, Better the Devil You Know, be part of a worldwide brainwashing plan? Others still claim that the ABC is the Antichrist, or Antichrist, and that all ABC programs contain backwards masking. For instance, play this show backwards and you get an episode of The Big Gig. Play The Big Gig backwards and you get an episode of Couchman. And play Couchman backwards and nobody notices. So it goes. Also, take a look at your ABC postcode in a capital city near you. 9994. But turn it upside down and what do you get? 666 and a kind of upside down cross. Pretty spooky, huh? Some even say that David Hill himself is the Antichrist. Hill being a misspelling of hell, and that the only way to stop this evil, evil man is to stick your head out the window right now and shout, "I'm mad at Hill, and I'm not gonna take it anymore!" The theories abound. In America, one man attacked the toilet belonging to the estate of Wilbur and Orville Wright, the first men to fly, because he thought the feces of Orville actually meant the forces of evil. In the middle of all this conjecture, though, stands one man who's given us more detailed information about the fate of our world than any other. His name, Nostradamus, who, although he died more than 4 centuries ago, continues to astound us with the accuracy of his predictions. Well, how did he do it and what manner of man was he? We spoke to his last living relative, now resident here in Sydney, Barry Nostradamus. Barry, Andrew Denton, how are you?
Andrew, you caught me. It's cleaning time
Fine pet, fine.
Stay up.
So, Barry, you're the last living...
Chair, Andrew.
Yeah, thank you. You're the last living relative of Nostradamus.
No, sit down. It's a gift. Don't sit on it, please.
For me?
Yes, no, feel free, yes.
Oh, thank you. You're the...
Ship, Andrew!
No.
Man of quality. I should have known, shouldn't I? I should have known that.
Yes, you should. Now, you're the last living relative of Nostradamus. Did you inherit any of his extraordinary ability to predict the future?
From Uncle Mick?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, actually inherited the ability to predict the future, say, 5 or 6 seconds from now, you know, in the future bit.
Really? Could you give us an example?
Sure. Look out!
That's astounding. Tell me, did Nostradamus actually predict anything that pertains to your family?
My family?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, actually, he was spot on when it came to Aunt Effie's wart, you know. He predicted the eruption of it in 1915. It was uncanny.
Really? Do you have a record of this?
Yes, I'll just put it on for you. Didn't see that one coming.
What use is your future?
My future? Oh, I'm working on one. His bang foozy what's a whopper of a prediction, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And what are you using for that? The stars?
No.
You're cutting open a cap, maybe, using
No.
Well, what about your uncle's quatrains? Would they be... Huh? What?
No.
Well, what?
This.
It's a washing machine.
It's a Simpson Delta automatic, Andrew. Not only does it leave your whites sparkling clean, it can predict your future. I predict in 5 minutes' time you'll be chatting to a man in black. Ooh, danger, beware.
That's your big prediction, is it?
No, small potatoes. I tell you what, though, mate. You come back here, about 20 minutes, and I'll have a prediction of enormous proportions.
But how? How do you do it?
By studying the words of the master.
Nobody knows the identity of the man who wrote the Simpson Delta Automatic Washing Machine Use and Care Guidebook. Today, we know him only as the mechanic.
When the mechanic wrote this outwardly unassuming little booklet in the late 1970s, a time of ignorance and superstition in which people still worship the eagles, few were to understand its real meaning. Yet, amazingly, much of this extraordinary booklet remains to be satisfactorily translated. You see, although written in modern English, Doomsday scholars still disagree on its interpretation, with words such as control knob, detergent, and filter often the cause of keen debate.
The water level can be infinitely varied between low and high. A reset position is provided to allow more water to be added if, after agitation has commenced, you decide to add more clothes or that a higher level is necessary.
The message here is clear. Water level refers to our oceans, and these can be infinitely varied between low and high. In other words, this is a greenhouse effect warning, i.e., through our own actions, we have the ability to control the level of the oceans. Such ingenuity from a truly remarkable mind. After all, who but the mechanic could have envisaged a decade as crazy as the 80s? A decade that brought us Chernobyl.
A house fuse has blown. Check the power outlet with an appliance you know is working.
Ben Johnson's drug-taking scandal.
Colored fabrics should be tested for color fastness.
Paul Keating's economic policies.
A high suds level is not necessarily an indication that the correct amount of detergent is being used.
And Bob Hawke's prime ministerial style.
When loaded, turn on the water taps.
Fascinating stuff. But let's push on. Our next guest is an eccentric, an insomniac, an Egyptophile, an intellectual, a broadcaster, critic, filmmaker, author, and doyen of advertisers. He also has a big staple in his tummy right there, and his name is Philip Adams.
Hello, Andrew. How
Hello,
are you?
Philip. I'm very well, thank you. Well, actually, I'm not so well because I do hear the end of the world is upon us.
One lives in hope, my son.
Does one?
I hope it'll be as soon as possible.
That's a very pessimistic point of view, Philip.
Well, it's been a flop, hasn't it? I mean, basically, the whole thing's been a terrible failure. Evolution has led us to Darren Hinch. There's a Middle Eastern war, television stations are in receivership, and you can't get a plumber. I mean, basically, I think the sooner the end comes, the better.
Do you consider these all to be signs of the oncoming apocalypse?
I once had dinner with a whole lot of scientists at the, in Canberra, and under a sort of a dome. What was it? The Academy of Science, about half a mile from Parliament House. And it looked eerily like the Last Supper. We were arranged along a long table. And they were very, very top scientists. So I posed them the question of how will the world end? And they all had a very passionate opinion. They all agreed that nuclear war was a furphy, that even if 1.25 million Hiroshima bombs went off, that really wouldn't be that much of a problem.
No one would notice.
But finally, they all settled on greenhouse. And in fact, it was the first time I ever heard mention of the greenhouse effect. They were talking about how every day in every lab in the world, the carbon dioxide levels go up and up and up. And they were calculating a temperature on this planet of 300, 400 degrees within a century at the time. So it sounds like it's going to be hot.
But you used to be the chairman for the Commission for the Future. Did you guys read Nostradamus?
I resigned when I realised there wasn't one.
There wasn't a
I left
future.
it to Robin Williams. He's a fool who believes there may be a tomorrow.
Well, he does meddle
Poor
with
silly
that sort
person, isn't he, really?
Did you read that a starting point for the Commission?
When the Paul Drain program went on first, Drain by Name, Drain by Nature, and caused a lot of terror in the community, Barry Jones and I demanded right of reply, so they let us come on and discount it. When I saw it again, I thought, he must be right. And of course, he was a relative.
Really?
I believe you've got another theory in this program, but he was, in fact, Nostrils Adams. He was my great-grandfather.
I see, so you...
And it became over the years Nostradamus through sloppy...
This is extraordinary. We've actually discovered two relatives of the great prophet Nostradamus.
Yeah.
Who could have told that? Probably him.
I visited his house only a few weeks ago in Ceylon. And would you believe Nostradamus...
I love it when this guy name drops. It's just great.
Nostradamus' house is between a laundromat and a travel agent's.
He predicted that. The 55th quatrain.
Damn.
And the spinning tumblers shall be unto one who prophesies.
Oh, I thought that was a reference to Lotto, you see.
You're very flippant about this, Philip. I mean, you come in here...
You've got to laugh at your terrors.
When you do die, what do you think's going to happen? To you, that is, not to us.
Well, to be serious, I know exactly what it's like. I know what it looks like, smells like, tastes like, feels like. Because all you've got to do is think back before you were born. It's exactly the same as that. You just aren't around. Nothing.
Sure?
Yeah, positive.
Doesn't worry you?
He said with rising doubt.
Did your parents have any religious background?
My father, in fact, was a Christian minister, which put me off to a flying start, didn't it? I mean, I had aversion therapy from the cradle.
Aversion therapy? As
Aversion.
in Mary?
No, aversion therapy. I mean, if your father's retailing all this claptrap, you're off to a great start to be an atheist, aren't you?
Well, when did you decide it was claptrap?
3. I was 3, I think. He was leaning over the cot, worrying about this child there, and I blew him a raspberry and said it was all rubbish.
And then you actually were debating Hasidic law at the time?
No, he was a congregational, you fool. He wasn't a rabbi.
I mean, you're far more disturbing than I am, and far more disturbed, for that matter.
True. But you're the one with the suppository microphone.
Well, actually, truth be told, if you could stand up right now, Philip, people would see that there is, in fact, a tube running from the back of you, way out there, and to
that's
a
my
sort of
colostomy
pipe.
bag.
Yes.
I didn't want to bring it into the set.
I mean, here you are, one of Australia's towering intellects, and you're putting forward very
Oh, you
false
wanted that
arguments.
Philip Adams.
Yes,
No,
sorry.
I just
We've
did his
got the
stunt.
wrong now.
Yeah, I just
You don't believe in death?
I do believe in death, and I want it to happen immediately.
No, you don't believe in life?
Particularly to you.
My lawyers will take note of that.
This is enough reason to destroy the world. I think, what with the gay lesbian Mardi Gras and Andrew Denton, it's time for at least Sydney to be wiped out. I'm with Fred.
This is one of the most tragic interviews I've ever participated in, living proof of the crushing weight of the generation gap. Philip Adams. Getting back to the number of the beast, or 666, for a moment, although the Bible says it will be on the head of a man who will be the Antichrist, there are those who believe that perhaps it doesn't apply to just one person. Jehovah's Witnesses believe that 666 stands for the United Nations, who incidentally just passed resolution number 666. Others think it stands for the British House of Commons, which has 658 members and 8 full-time staff, totaling in all, you guessed it, 666. Yep.
Do you order the wombat?
Yes, thanks, just with the others. Thank you. Okay. Others still think that the B on our bank card, which is often printed in 3 colours, is a computer 666. Doubly disturbing when you realise that according to Revelations 13:17, the beast will have control over our currency. Me? Well, I think it's possible to go about the whole thing in a much more scientific manner. Observe. 666A, A for Antichrist, Should I check the mail? Ah, it's hot. Let's go inside. Hello? Hello? Oh, hello. Hi. Andrew Denton, ABC Television. How are you? Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Look, it's a difficult question I have to ask you. Is the Prince of All Darkness here anywhere?
She's just out the back of the...
This is the Prince of All Darkness. Pleasure to meet you. And I see you've got a cloven hoof.
That's correct.
This is extraordinary. 2 cloven hoofs, in fact. Oh, look, I can walk around like this too if you like. I don't wish to question anybody's historical accuracy here, but the Prince of Darkness is supposed to be a man.
Well, we like to be different.
You, no, I'm sorry. No, come on, please.
If I just pop through.
I suspect this man here, brandishing totems of the church, is in fact the Antichrist. Tell me, what's your background? How old are you?
About 7,000 years, I think.
7,000 years? Well, that's not a clue. Let me see now. Do you lust after virgins at all?
Yes.
That sounded more like it. I'll just take your temperature for a minute. Very hot, very, very hot. Tell me, if I were to go like this to you, what would your reaction be? I think we've done it. Move over a kind affair. We're hot. Flat 6, number 66. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
can I help you? Can I help you?
Yes, I wondered if you could tell me he lives in flat 6, number 66.
Yeah, the son of perdition, the Antichrist himself. You're from the television, are you?
Yes.
Kinch?
No.
Current affair?
ABC.
Oh, ABC.
Look, you said the Antichrist lives in there?
Yes, he's about to renew his lease. Well, we in the block aren't too happy about it. He was very nice when he first arrived. Everyone really liked him. Even the gold, but number 8. He talked about anything, politics, ruling, bestiality, but he hangs around with a very rough crowd.
But how do you know he's the Antichrist?
Well, in the middle of the night, I have often been woken up. I open the door, there's a knock, and there's this thing standing there that looks like it's come from the deepest part of the pit of hell, and it just goes, "The beast!" All right. Do I look like the son of perdition? No, number 6.
So this guy's actually a troublemaker.
Oh, well, no trouble, mate. I believe that he's actually right now working on plunging the entire globe into a fiery conflict that will consume all humanity.
Well, haven't you thought to call the police?
Oh, no, trouble.
There's a lady on shore, all that glitters is gold. She's buying the stairway to heaven. When she gets there, she knows if the stores are all closed, with a word, she can get what she came for. Sometimes words have 2 meanings. In a tree by the brook, there's a songbird who sings. Sometimes all of our thoughts are misgiven. Ooh, it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder. It's whispered that soon, if we all calm the tune, the piper will lead us to reason. A new day will dawn for those who stand long. The forest will echo with laughter. Just a sprinkling for the May Queen. Yes, there are 2 paths you can go by, but in the long run, there's still time to change the road you're on.
The Australian Doors, with their version of some obscure Jim Morrison lyrics found at the bottom of his bathtub. Well, we didn't have much luck door-knocking the beast, so we thought what we'd do now is try and phone him up. And I must warn you at home, please don't try this. You're meddling with powers greater than you, probably greater than telecom. What we're doing here is we're dialing area code 666, number 666. Let's see how we go. Send it through.
You have dialed the number of the beast. Sorry, but there's not a soul around.
Ah, well, the gods don't seem to be on our side tonight, so let's see how Barry's going. Barry Nostradamus, your predict...
Yeah, look at that. It's Mr. Packer. He's going to fall off the horse and, whoa, the ticket's gone.
No, actually, Barry, that's already happened. What we were hoping for was something that hasn't happened yet.
Hasn't happened yet? What, you want something, whoa, you want something from the, whoa, from the front?
From the future.
Ha! Well, that's quite a concept. That's a bit, whoa. Well, I'll tell you what, you give me 10, 15 minutes and you get back here and
a big prediction.
Oh, don't you worry about that now.
Fantastic. Barry Nostradamus, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on the case, Mike, don't you worry.
While it may be a mystery for some, for others, the future is just a place where they work. Our next guest is a man who regularly clocks on where others clock off. He's the incoming chairman of the Commission for the Future. Will you please welcome Robin Williams? Obviously, this is going to be an interview full of confrontation, Robin. I can...
No, not at all.
Oh, good. Tell me, what is the Commission for the Future?
It's something that Barry Jones invented very wisely a long time ago, in 1985, actually. He thought of it in 1666. But the idea was that instead of our floundering around all the time, just lurching from one change or catastrophe or something to the next, we should discuss the future and plan it and choose our own future. The whole point about the Commission is you don't see the future as something like America coming towards Columbus, which you sort of ram into and cope with later.
So we get to choose which catastrophe we're going to hit.
With any luck, we avoid them.
And get hit by one we didn't expect.
Perhaps not.
How accurately can we predict the future?
We can hardly predict it accurately at all. In fact, science looks very stupid when it tries to predict the future. But you can get some ideas of mishaps that could occur. For instance, I think it was earlier this year, there was a very large object came within, well, vanishing distance of the Earth. I mean, very close in astronomical terms, which means, I don't know, several million miles away. And if it had been nudged a little closer like a comet could have, I mean, they've often hit in the past, 65 million years ago. Apparently, the thing that wiped out the dinosaurs is said to have been a very large lump that hit the Earth and changed the climate. So there are a number of things that could happen. There's one other small catastrophe that we might start worrying about now, although it may take 4 or 7 billion years to happen, and that's the sun going out.
Where?
It won't quite go out that way. It'll just become very large, blow itself up, and then become very small and produce, unfortunately, not enough heat for us.
What's your personal opinion of Nostradamus? Not him as a man, you didn't know him, obviously. Barry Jones.
Philip Adams, you mean?
Oh, no, not... Oh, Philip Adams, for that matter.
Well, Nostradamus, I think it's piffle. Mind you, the Simpson washing machine was very convincing.
I can tell your clothes have a sort of apocalyptic ring to them, which you can get cleaned off in the Simpson Delta automatic.
Really?
Do you discount God and final judgment as a possible ending for the Earth?
I find it very difficult to understand what's meant by it. I had the same sort of problem as Philip Adams, except the other way round. And,
No, you haven't.
No, not quite. No, I haven't been... You see, the difference between myself and Philip, I've actually died. I've actually been there. And it was quite strange that nothing happened. I mean, there's a film called Flatliners, which tries to suggest that you'll go up in the sky with dogs and float around and have sexual dreams and naughty bits. It doesn't quite happen. The lights...
It doesn't even happen in life, I can assure you. So you don't expect there'll be any sort of Armageddon or coming of the Lord?
I don't know whether you realise this, but Bob Hawke, since 1983, has regularly been in touch with the deity. At first, it was, funnily enough...
Packer? Yes, I've seen pictures
Not
of them
quite.
together. Oh, the other deity, right?
This is God.
Right.
It was, in the beginning, him phoning to get her advice, but then later it became the other way around. And only last week, funnily enough, there was a conversation that went something like this. God said, well, we've got, Prime Minister, some good news and some bad news. Which would you like first? And the Prime Minister said, well, give me the bad news first. And she said, well, the world will end on the 31st of December 1990. And he said, does this mean I won't have a historic 5th term? She said, terribly sorry, you will not have a historic 5th term. And he said, well, what's the good news? And she said, well, no child in Australia will be living in poverty in 1991.
Williams, you have an extraordinary grasp of our future and the functioning of the world. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Andrew.
Yes. Without doubt, the most chilling part of the Simpson Delta automatic washing machine use and care guide book are its predictions for the possible fate of mankind. Contained in the legendary refrain 10, the machine stops.
Did you wrap the clothes around the agitator? If so, they will not circulate freely and possibly cause the motor to overheat.
Translation. Are too many people gathered round a warmongering dictator, the agitator? If so, the hearts of many will be stopped. They will not circulate freely. And it will possibly cause all people, the motor, to hurt forever. Overheat. Over meaning ever. Heat is believed to be a typo for hurt. In fact, it's common practice for Simpson washing machine manuals to be partly printed in reverse, so more customers have to call Simpson tradespeople.
Did you use the recommended wash temperature?
Translation? No idea what this means, but it does sound grim, and we'd be foolish to ignore it. After all, despite what he saw, the mechanic only wanted from life what we all want. A cleaner, brighter, fluffier future that doesn't smell, and with the skid marks on the inside. With his guidance, we may one day achieve it. The most famous prophecies about the end of the world are in the last book of the New Testament, Revelation, an account of the Apostle. It's an extraordinary piece of writing, full of bizarre creatures and surprising detail, such as the fact that God has 7 golden lampstands. But for me, the most amazing revelation is John's description of heaven, which has God on a throne surrounded by 4 creatures who spend all day and all night of all eternity praising him. And every time they praise him, 24 elders on 24 thrones around God's throne throw themselves on the ground and praise him also. Which begs the question, why does God need all this praising? Is he insecure? And if so, what about? And if he is insecure, should he really be running the universe? Personally, I prefer someone with a slightly better self-concept, which is, I suppose, just the sort of cynicism you'd expect from someone who doesn't have any faith. Others do, of course, and who's to say which one of us may be right? With me now are 3 people of different faiths. Lorraine Murphy-Williams, who is a filmmaker and regarded in the Aboriginal community as a teacher and medicine woman. Priya, who teaches at the North Sydney Hare Krishna Temple. And Robert Forsyth, an Anglican chaplain at Sydney University. Welcome to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If I could ask each of you to respond briefly to this opening question, starting with you, Robert. Your time starts now. How near are we to the end of the world?
The brief answer, Andrew, is I haven't the faintest idea, and despite what you've been showing tonight, I don't think the Bible would help us to know either.
All right, we'll get back to that, Priya.
Well, according to the Vedic scriptures, the conception of time is quite differently. So in the Vedas, it says that there is a cycle of time. So we're going through different ages. There's a cycle, and the cycle is broken up into 4 specific parts. And now we're in the last stage of that cycle, which is the Age of Iron. So that age started 5,000 years ago, and it's predicted to last 427,000 years. And at the end of that, then there's a minor annihilation. So we've got
minor annihilation. That's a company.
We've got a long way to go.
Yes, Lorraine?
I can't really talk from a Western point of view, if you know what I mean.
Well, talk from your point of view.
Well, yes, from a totally cultural point of view, because, see, we've only been in contact with a Western world for 200 years.
And so, what great years they've been, eh?
Well, here on Earth, we believe you can make heaven for yourself, or you could make a hell for yourself. A hell is when you war amongst one another, there's disease and there's famine and there's killing and there's diseases, all that sort of thing. That is our belief of a hell that we create, human beings create for themselves here on Earth.
Or someone else can create it for you.
Or somebody else can create it for
But
us.
let's not get back to Western civilization,
Yes.
shall we? Well, Robert, although you can't say when the world's going to end, do you have a picture of how it will end?
Well, let me tell you why I know that I can't know when it will end. Jesus said this. He said, "Of that day and of that hour, no one knows, not the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." So anybody who comes along today saying they know when he will come again in glory knows more than the Son of God. And no one here does that. So that's why I know that no one can know, and all the fear is just a sign, I think, of where we are at the moment in our society and not reflecting the true situation as we stand waiting for what I believe is a real return of Jesus at the end of the age.
Well, why do you think some people look for Armageddon?
I think they look for Armageddon because they are scared stiff. And the Bible is full of the most incredible pictures. You said in the book of Revelation, it's like a book of cartoons. John has vision of what will be. He's not literally seeing what will be. That's ridiculous.
It sounds to me from what you say that they're a bit misleading.
They're misleading if you try and think there's some kind of travel guide or some kind of a simplistic future account. Nobody can take them literally. They weren't meant by God to be taken literally. It's foolhardy to take them literally. You mentioned this beast. You said the Antichrist. There is a beast coming out of the sea with a human number 666. It was written at a time when Christians were suffering great persecution in what today is Turkey, then called Asia. And a lot of the imagery is to do with the Roman Empire's attack upon believing Christians in the first century. And you can't just apply it as though tomorrow morning we'll wake up and there'll be a large beast coming out off Bondi Beach with a number on its head. That's misunderstanding the Bible.
Damn, all the news crews would be there in a flash.
Yeah.
How about you? What do you believe happens after we die? Is there a heaven or a hell?
Well, we believe in the science of reincarnation, that ultimately we are spirit souls inhabiting this material body, just like you drive your car. You drive your car, and when you jump out of the car doesn't go by itself.
What becomes of we atheists?
Even though one might turn his back on God, and God being your merciful Father, he'll not reject that person. Just like a mischievous son, he might say, you know, Dad, forget it, I'm going to go my own way. But still the Father will feel for him and will always think about the son. And when
cut off my allowance for eternity. Or
yeah. So we'll always have an opportunity to get God's mercy. God is very, very merciful. The whole concept of God is that he's all loving Father. So even though we might turn our back, there's no end to God's mercy. So even though you might be a hardened atheist, you'll still get another chance. But we shouldn't wait around this place too long. An example can be given, just like when someone might go to the bathroom. One should do their business and get out. So similarly, when we come to this material world, we should do our business and then get out, not wait around too long.
It's a very interesting metaphor. Well, it's been fascinating talking to all of you. We do have to end there. Robert, Priya, Murphy, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And our time is counting down now, so I think we'd better just check and see if Barry's got his big prediction together. Barry Nostradamus, time is almost up. Your prediction, please.
Yes, well, I predict the world is going to end.
Oh, really? And when?
Yes, well, it'll be on a Monday. It'll be a Monday about 10:15, yes. It'll be on the 12th of November, 1990.
But that's today, that's now.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple of minutes, you know. Oh, look, and there's one survivor here. He's got 4 matching eyes and a body that glows, and a ridiculous number of tits.
That's right. The world is about to end, and there will be only one survivor. Me, for I am not Ned Werdner, visitor to your planet from a faraway civilization of chat show hosts. My mission here has been twofold. 1, to collect 2 of every earth creature, except spiders, which I hate. Out! And 2, to teach you earthly people the universal message of peace and the greeting of love, which, as you know, is putting a condom on a microphone with your mouth. But you have failed to learn this lesson, and so your planet must die. But before I go, Earth people, know this, for I have heard it asked often. Yes, there is other life in the universe, but no, none of it is intelligent, for we are all chat show hosts. With the exception of a small galaxy of barrel girls near the Dog Star, but that's not important right now. So there you have it. I'm Ned Werdner, and at least for you lot, anyway. Ciao!
That was the final edition of The Money or Gun for now. Next Monday night at 9:30, we welcome back Max Gillies with a new series of Gillies and Company. Stay with us now for a preview. Then coming up next, ABC News and Late Line.
Look who's popped up in a